Well, today is the last day of Black History Month, and we're discussing the societal inequalities between Black and white people in America and assessing whether there has been really any substantive change since the global protests that resulted from the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery in 2020. Now, one area that my panel of experts all agree on are the reported racial disparities in real estate practices and income. When there is ownership in homes, it's not at the same level as far as the value of the home, the equity in the home. It's not the same, so building wealth is an uphill battle.
When the gap is getting wider, when you go from 44% to 43%, it doesn't look like Blacks are moving up, we're moving down. And it's because of all the different systematic racism that is in place today that has to change, and it has to stop, and it has to start from community, but it has to end on the top where they begin to make a change in America. The more that they continue to allow the challenges in the loan practicing, the loan level where Blacks are having higher interest rates. When Blacks, if you have a 720 credit score and you got $7,000 in the bank, you're still gonna have a worse loan than a white American that has the same amount. That is true. I've experienced it with my family member. And I took her to the bank and I made the bank make an adjustment on her loan product. And that exists today.
So people know with redlining, we're talking about discriminatory lending practice dating back to the 1930s, when lenders would draw red lines on maps around neighborhoods that were predominantly Black as a way to deny a mortgage, claiming it was high risk. I mean, it was just blatant. There's no other way to describe it, right?
Yeah, redlining is still there. Just because you don't see the red lines on the map doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it still exists.
So it still
what do you
exists.
want to say?
As a white person, I was actually explicitly told that if a Black person moved into our neighborhood, it would lower the value of our homes. And so these practices were put into place to cause white flight out of neighborhoods so that realtors could come in and buy the properties at lower prices and then flip them. I mean, this has been going on, but the thing is that this is about bias. This is about unconscious bias. And it is so, anti-Black bias is so predominant in our country, and no one wants to talk about that.
I've experienced a story of steering. When I bought my first house, I went to buy my first home. You know, they took me into a neighborhood that I didn't ask. So when they did that, I didn't buy the property. Guess what I did? I decided to get my real estate license and run the National Black Organization to talk about the issues with steering and the importance of putting Black folks where you want them to go rather where they want to go.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.